Well, why don't we move on to the Oscar noms? I'm very happy with the Oscar noms. What about you?
Agreed. Yeah. So the noms came out around like 8:20 Eastern time. So Tiffany Haddish and Andy Serkis were doing this at like 5 a.m. West Coast time in LA, which is shout out The Grind for that. I respect it. But yeah, I mean, so I was still at home and I had a tweet ready in case Stolberg pulled something off, which he did. So I was like ready to fire that off. But I was just blown away that not only there was nothing egregious happening, but that Phantom Thread, fucking 11th hour nominations for got 6 nominations. No one saw this fucking coming. It's awesome.
Crazy. Yeah, I was actually maybe a place to start. It's a question I had, and I actually wanted to hear your opinion. Oldman's cleaned up for his performance. This is Daniel Day-Lewis's final performance as an actor, and he's what, won 3, 4?
He's the only actor to win 3 Best Actors.
Do you think he could upset Oldman in this category?
Probably not, but the odds are better than they were yesterday.
Yeah.
Because now we have the voting period. There's 35 days. According to Vulture, a lot of people they talked to, the last movie voters saw was Phantom Thread. It's fresh in people's mind. The Daily Beast article is in people's minds regarding Oldman's past. So I think if James Franco cannot even get nominated for Best Actor when allegations come out at the very end of the nomination voting period, I think it's possible that Oldman loses support. But I don't think it's going to be DDL that beats him. If anyone, it would probably be Chalamet.
Yeah, it's crazy because I could see DDL possibly getting that like Lifetime Achievement Award type thing, but I hope it goes to Chalamet, if anything, but I think it will probably end up being Oldman. Not as white this year, man. Get Out, I think, was the thing I was happiest about in these nominations. Not only getting a Best Picture nomination, but a Best Director and a Best Actor for Daniel Kaluuya. Man, you saw this, this weekend? Give us your review.
I thought it was like a real horror movie. It wasn't a horror movie. Like, I don't know why I got myself so like hyped up about being spooked by it. Like, I thought it was gonna be like it, but no, I loved it. Get Out's great. There's a great piece by Cam Collins on The Ringer called "The Movie Essay We Need Right Now," which I think really captures the importance of Get Out, right now.
Yep.
But yeah, I loved it. I brought it to number 9 on my top 10, and I have Phantom Thread at number 8. And I actually threw up my list on my Medium blog. But yeah, so I my two late entries to the top 10 post pod. But yeah, Get Out, great to see here. It had a Directors Guild nom for Best Picture, so the Best Picture Oscar was probably safe. But it's great to see Jordan Peele get the Best Director, as well as Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, because they were both ridiculously passed over by the Globes and the BAFTAs. But again, it shows who really matters, whose opinion really matters, which is the Academies.
Yeah, and that entire category, I think, is a sign of the Academy being very aware this year and trying to get things right, and also just trying to be more diverse. We have Christopher Nolan and Paul Thomas Anderson in there for Dunkirk and Phantom Thread, respectively. But then you have Jordan Peele, Greta Gerwig, and Guillermo del Toro. So a lot of diversity. And The Shape of Water, man, 13 nominations. I did not expect it to be the most nominated movie of the year, but I guess in retrospect, it makes a lot of sense. That movie pretty much checks a lot of the boxes that Oscar voters look for.
Yeah, I mean, Del Toro is almost assuredly going to win Best Director because Paul Thomas Anderson got into Best Director. No one on Gold Derby, the expert predicting site, had thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, they thought it was going to be McDonough, right?
Of course, yeah. I mean, 3 Billboards, like it or hate it, and many people hate it, has been the co-favorite with Shape of Water this whole season. But the fact that McDonough got passed over in the category makes it's like what happened with Ben Affleck with Argo. Argo still won Best Picture, but Affleck wasn't even nominated for Best Director. So I think that's equally surprising. But yeah, Shape of Water in the end is the most nominated film. I think, I mean, I had it like, I think 15th. I don't love it as much as a lot of these other ones, but I mean, it doesn't, none of this bothers me. I think that's my overall takeaway is, we all have our preferences with these top Oscar movies, but overall, I think they got most of it right.
Yeah, were there any like notable snubs for you? Obviously, McDonough might be one. I think Hank's not getting a Best Actor and was one that was surprising, but I don't think
Yeah.
anyone's like thinks it's egregious per se.
Right. So I actually got into my nomination thinking on my blog as well, but Best Actor is low key a boring ass race. We have actually all four acting categories. We can get into this. Have a clear top two, a clear front runner, and then a clear runner up. Right. Best Actor, Old Man Chalamet, as we've said, an easy third. Daniel Day-Lewis, we knew he would get nominated. Daniel Kaluuya, probably a safe fourth. The fifth spot was up for grabs with the Franco, LA Times piece coming out, and Franco didn't get in, and it was either going to be Denzel Washington or Tom Hanks. There's really no one else in the mix. Unfortunately, Robert Pattinson was not, buzzworthy enough for good time. I would have loved to see him get in, but obviously that wasn't happening. And yeah, Denzel Washington, he gets in for Roman J. Israel, a fall movie that did not make a big impact, was not that well received. But people love Denzel. He continues his record as the most nominated black actor with 8.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, obviously he won't win. But yeah, I mean, him or Hanks, it doesn't matter because it's for last place. I actually probably think that of those three, Franco probably still was the most deserving for a performance.
Mm-hmm. And then what actress? You probably have McDormand and Ronan in that order.
Yep, of course. Two. And then Sally Hawkins was a clear safe third. Margot Robbie has really built herself up. The Academy, the biggest part of the Academy is actors. They like the performance, so her getting it makes sense. And the fifth spot was probably going to be Meryl Streep the whole time. She did get it. I mean, Michelle Williams was great, all the money in the world, but Jessica Chastain, wasn't able to sneak in there. So I think that was a pretty safe, pretty chalk 5 for Best Actress as well. And Judi Dench had the SAG nomination, so she may have been in the mix, but I mean that 5 was I think pretty easy. And then yeah, the other two supporting as well. Allison Janney and Laurie Metcalf, the big 2. Sam Rockwell, Willem Dafoe, the big 2. Then Mary J. Blige for Mudbound, which makes her the first actor nominated for a film directed by a person of color, which is fucking mind-boggling. But that's a first for us. Then Octavia Spencer. See, this is actually kind of weird because Octavia Spencer for Shape of Water. I don't know about you, but I thought that role was way too small.
I was kind of shocked when I saw her up there. I mean, I thought she was good in the movie, but I didn't think that much.
Right, and the conventional thinking was that she was probably vying for the 5th spot. We assumed like the middle spot was safely Holly Hunter from The Big Sick. She'd been getting nominated all season, but she got bounced for Leslie Manville from Phantom Thread, who's great, a very well deserving choice. Again, we just didn't see that coming because we didn't think Phantom Thread had a chance. But yeah, so Spencer ended up getting bumped even further in. So I mean, that was kind of strange. I'm not the biggest Big Sick guy myself, but I thought Hunter was easily going to make it. Hong Chow from Downsizing, Tiffany Haddish people would have loved that. Even Allison Williams from Get Out, but I thought Holly Hunter was going to get in.
Yeah, but I think before we really dug into that, the technical awards are almost more interesting than the Best Picture or the acting awards. I'm so much more excited to see like who comes away of like, for example, adapted screenplay. Like I think that category is stacked.
Oh, it's stacked. It's stacked.
Unbelievable.
It's definitely skewed. Great for Netflix. Seeing Mudbound get in there. Disaster Artist and Call Me by Your Name are the favorites in the category, and then Aaron Sorkin's Pen Game. We knew Molly's Game was going to get it, but Logan, man, number 5, which is awesome.
So awesome, dude! I was pumped to see that. That movie really resonates, and if you want to hear our takes, go back and listen to our end of year list. Cinematography, another category, which I mean, you see Blade Runner in there, and you're like, that movie is incredible. You see Dunkirk, you're like, some of the shots in that were unbelievable. Mudbound, like another movie that's unbelievable, and Shape of Water, which I think it's nominated in literally almost every category.
Yeah.
Technical stuff. It was just
let's hope Deakins finally gets his win. I think it's between him or Dunkirk. But shout out Rachel Morrison for Mudbound, the first woman of color nominated for best cinematography.
So awesome, dude.
It's interesting if you look at the two screenplay categories and you compare it to best picture. It'll tell you who are like the true favorites for best picture. So like The Post and Phantom Thread did not get screenplay nominations, nor were they really expected to. So that shows you there were 9 Best Picture nominees out of possible 10. But I mean, realistically, there's the top 2, Billboards and Shape of Water, and a few other wild cards, and the other guys they're just happy to be there. But yeah, it's a really solid slate of noms, no doubt.
Yeah, Baby Driver too, getting a lot of technical nominations. So shout out to our man Elgort, proving us wrong.
Yeah, the way I put it on my blog was a surprisingly competent Ansel Elgort performance, which I think is I don't think I could say it any other way. How do you feel about Wonder Woman getting totally shut out? No down ballot, no technical awards.
Yeah, we talked about it on the year end. That movie means more in the sense of like what it stands for than actually like any technical or acting or performances in it. So it's a movie that's bigger than its parts.
Right, and I mean, none of the technical awards categories really stand out for Wonder Woman, right? No. And again, you look at the field; it was a competitive race for all those categories. So I know they also didn't truly campaign for Wonder Woman that way. I mean, people were like, "Oh, maybe they'll sneak in for Best Picture," but you can't get a Best Picture nom unless you're going to get some, a down ballot stuff like the way Mad Max Fury Road got all those nominations. So it was probably a wishful thinking to think it would happen.
But just an awesome year for movies, I think, is my takeaway, because like I'm looking through and it's just like one after the other. Even visual effects, which has movies that we didn't talk about as like best movies of the year: Guardians of the Galaxy, Kong Skull Island, War for Planet of the Apes. Those are decent, like mid-tier movies for the year that had really wonderful parts of it. So just shout out 2017 is a great year for movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. I think so. Last year, remember Suicide Squad? Both was nominated and won for, I believe, makeup. Right, just a bad movie that got an Oscar, got our attention.
Or what did it say? Broken or something like
that. Damaged.
Damaged. Right? That's what it was. Oh my god.
This year, The Boss Baby was nominated for Best Animated Feature.
I know, I saw that.
The Globes did it too. Honestly, don't really get that because they're anime movies. The Oscars have nominated tons of anime movies in the past.
Right.
You could have nominated Your Name. People love that movie. That's an interesting one. But again, it's such a minor thing. It doesn't matter at all because Coco's going to win anyway.
That's like the no doubt category for sure.
But yeah, that is you bet your house on that basically, and you win your house in like a shed. Obviously the return isn't good.
Right.
But yeah, the biggest lock for sure.
Yeah, we have a long wait because I think they pushed it back because of the Olympics, I believe.
Correct. It's the first Sunday in March.
So we got a lot of time before we'll be talking about it, but we'll be giving our picks before it comes out. So stay tuned to Nowstalgia Pod and give us feedback at Martin Swagger, at Shooting World Peace, and at Nowstalgia Pod.